I showed you my travels. I showed you a lot of my adventures. We had a hurricane and a tropical storm. You've seen my campus. I took you on a little tour. But what are my first impressions? First off, the food. I think that the food here is very Asia-centric, very island-centric. There's a lot of fish offered, indigenous foods like taro and the purple sweet potato. There's not as much fresh produce as I would have thought. You know, you'd think that they'd have like pineapples and mangoes and papayas just out on the fruit bar, but it's mostly like bananas and melons and pineapple. The pineapple here is very good, and the food in general I would say is fairly like whole food. Like, there's a lot of root vegetables served, especially the taro and the purple sweet potato. And then in addition to that, there's all kinds of rice things. There's a white rice option and a brown rice option with every meal. And then if you are into this kind of thing, there's also fish offered, usually chicken offered. They serve a lot of local foods, and the vegan vegetarian option is usually a bit more limited. There's usually one option, and you could scrounge around the dining hall for some like fries over here and fruit over there. The options almost always an excellent option. There's like a vegan lasagna that's served quite often. There's a lot of like stir fries kind of thing, so I don't mind it. I do wish there were more options, but I'm very thankful that there is at least one option every single day. In the campus center dining hall, there's always a vegetarian option, not always a vegan option. I know I've gone in there to see what they have, and they had like a mac and cheese bar, and I'm like, thanks. But they're always very accommodating. You can get, I'm pretty certain that the miso soup here on campus is lacking fish oil. It does separate, so that is my clue. I haven't asked anyone, don't quote me on that. Most of the buns and bread here have egg and milk in them, but there's fries everywhere, always rice. You won't go hungry, but you might be not seeing some things you're used to seeing. And spicy here also means something very different than spicy beans back in Minnesota. Like I said, it is Asian-centered cuisine, so spicy means spicy. Around the community, I've seen there's not a ton of vegan options around. Usually each place has something though, which is really nice. So yes, that is an overview of how I view the food. The second thing I want to talk about is my classes. So the classes here are very laid back, but that doesn't mean they're easy. What I mean by that is the quizzes are a very small portion of your grade. The professors are willing to work with you on, you know, if you're not great at quiz taking or test taking, they're willing to work with you on it, but it's not easy. You have to show up and participate and give your best. Doing field trips, and when you do the field trips, they're expecting you to really like give all, like it's a community effort. Generally, I would say it's much more laid back than back home was for me. And then the last thing I want to talk about is just the general vibe. So if this is something that you're interested in coming to Hawaii on a student exchange program or something, if you're interested in Hilo, I would say be absolutely ready for the rain. It rains almost every day here, and it's a friendly vibe, but no one's going to like approach you and talk to you. Like, if you want to make friends, you have to take the initiative. So for me, being an introvert, that's a little bit more difficult, but nobody is unfriendly by any means, especially from here. But if you are lost, you have a question, you need something, you can ask just about anybody. I think they'd be very helpful. It feels like a community. And yes, so that's the basic vibe of Hilo, and that is my conclusion to being here for 1 whole month. I have a lot of plans for October, so subscribe if you are excited to see that, and give me a thumbs up if you have so far liked my Hawaii videos.